That, the last two pairs. Alright. They're universal, left or right. Alright. There we go. Let finger in there. Kind of have little fat fingers here. Usually have a little bit more veins showing in my hands when I was younger. But I guess as you pick up some weight, it makes it harder to find your veins. Alright, here we go. Got that one other side as well. So everything's going pretty nicely as planned. And the time right now, as you can see, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. It's July 5th. Alright. Cool. We got that there now. It's ready to go. Okay, so we're getting ready to pick up our gasket. The next gasket we're going to be using is this one right here. And we just did another spray on it earlier. So it should be ready now. Just got to be really careful taking it off. Doesn't want to force it to rip. It's very sticky also, by the way. I got a little bit of my shoe. It was like worse than gum. This stuff really does its job. I didn't realize, I thought we can actually set it and it just makes the thickness for us, and they'll be able to use it next day over. But you definitely want to apply it and plan to use it right away, or else things will get stick on there. So you pretty much got a very expensive insect trap. There we go. Okay. Careful, don't want to rip it. Okay, so we're gonna work it little by little. It's alright, we're not in a hurry. I mean, it's already 1 in the morning. There we go. You gotta expect some fire department to come out. It's 4th of July aftermath. Cool. Oh boy, this one's a little toughy. It's always that last one that gets you paranoid, you know? That little last bit. There you go. Once this is off, it's off. Oh, come on. Don't tell me you're gonna keep gluing it back. You can see here it picks up everything on its site. Okay, this one we can pull out of the way. There we go. We got it. We got it, I think. Come on. Woo. The dogs are scared. Wonder why animals behave a certain way. I guess as humans do silly things to them. Here we go. Whoa. Don't want to get any of the gears. We just want to focus. Oh, actually, I'm in the wrong direction. Ow, I don't want to go there. There's where it goes. You can see that triangle there. Should match that triangle. Not the other way around. Alright, there we go. I'm laying it. Cool. Alright, now we just got to figure out, make sure it lays on there very nicely. There we go. Once we get here, we're more comfortable. It's just like our starter clutch there. Hoping not to reset those rollers. Okay. We'll pat them down as soon as we... It's good that it actually allows you to move it a little bit. I don't know how it does that, even though how sticky it is. It's almost like a slime. It allows you to kind of move it a little bit. Alright. Feel more better once the other top lays on there and holds it down. But we're going to go ahead and get our dowel pins. And it's always, dowel pins are always 2 per case. So if there's 1 dowel pin here, more than likely it's going to be another one right here. See, opposite corners. Okay, so we're going to get our dowel pins. Again, it takes an 8mm dowel pin, not your typical 10 for your housing. And see if I can find another one here. It's either tucked in somewhere. Nope. These are all for... Okay, so I got 1 so far. Hopefully, maybe the dowel pins, we put some in here. Let's see. Wish I had a little bit more extra to lay around, but let's go and put one that we got so far. There we go. It's going in beautifully. Now let's see if its dowel pins are stuck on this side. No, there's no dowel pins at all here. So we gotta search for one more small dowel pins. I'm gonna put this Woodrow key in the basket here because I don't want to lose it. Okay. I'm sure we'll find one laying around. If not, we can rob it from our old engine. But before we do that, I want to make sure that we can actually, you know what? This looks like there's no dowel pins here. There's a dowel pin on this side, but I'm not sure how easy it is to take off. Let's find out. Yeah, this one's already solidly in there. Oh, this one's actually coming off. Again, you can use the dowel pin from the CVT case as well as the transmission. They're all interchangeable. The only ones you can't use it for is these ones right here. You see these dowel pins? They're much more thicker. They're the 10mm dowel pins. You can see, well, you can't see from this side. They're the same length, but they're just thicker in diameter, or bigger in diameter. 10mm diameter, 8mm. So we pretty much robbed one from our CVT of the old case to be able to put it on our crankcase. You can see it fits almost exactly the same. Here we go. Get the resolution. See, fits right in. Perfect. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so next cover it's going on there. It's pretty much our crankcase, which is going to take a total of about 7 bolts to screw it in. So I want to make sure we finally inspect it, make sure everything. You can see here we put a little bit of our synthetic grease on there, a bearing, but make sure we wipe everything else from it. So let me just finish wiping it. All right. Okay, so we got that finishly wiped. Okay, so coming in, gotta be really careful. If you need to spin it a little bit, it shouldn't hook onto anything. Once it comes down on it, should be good. If you want to just make sure to remember what else goes here, this is pretty much it. You got your starter clutch, you got your oil pump, the chain, you got your starter gear mechanism for your starter. So that's pretty much it, and the oil is going to flow everywhere here. The oil pump's going to splash it all over. Oh, there we go. Speaking of splashing, that's what we forgot. The splash guard. Luckily it didn't press on there. Here goes our splash guard. So I did that purposely just to remind myself also to see what else I was missing in there. So the splash guard only goes one way, and it goes this way. You can see there the half circle comes up and then with a flat side. Almost like a little bowl of soup, you can say. Okay, so if it's facing, of course, the same direction up. Alright, so we're going to go and put our splash guard in here. Very important because you don't want to splash everywhere. So there we go. I'm glad you guys are with me. Because there is some components that we have to always double check in. Here's the screws for it. There we go. There's the other screw for it. 2 small screws. And we're going to put some Loctite on these as well. So there we go. And then these can be hand tightened. They don't have to be torqued to spec because they're just holding a little thin splash guard. More than likely it's not going to really come off. The blue Loctite will pretty much do his magic there. Let's see if I can get a better camera angle for you. And you know what? I can just hold on to it like I did before. Here we go. There we go. Just grip it between my knees here. Alright, so we're going to go and get some Loctite. The same one we're using. Oh boy. Little splat marks already coming out. I don't think I secured it. That's probably why. Which is fine. We got some here on our gloves. Should be plenty. We're going to close it really tight. Now you can see a lot more coming out. Look at that. So that's more than enough here. Again, I guess if you Loctite is very liquidy. So we're just going to put a little bit. You know what's on here. Okay. After it gets on the thread. Okay, we're going to go ahead and use the other one as well. And we're going to go ahead and just kind of feed each other with it. The same. That should be good enough. Let me go and finish what's on my hand here. Probably better just to use as much as I can from my hand. Cool. Sorry you can't see it, huh? Alright, there we go. Let me lift up this camera a little bit better so you can see what's going on. There we go. Just getting it from my hand. Just feeding it. Alright. It's cool. Should be enough there. Alright, so we got some Loctite on there now. Then drop it in. Okay, we're going to drop this one in as well. Very light Loctite. Just very light. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and bolt it down. I'm going to wipe my hand here with a towel. Alright. Now it's going to be pretty much just hand tighten it. It's going to take our same 8mm. We'll just keep our torque wrench on there, but we don't need to torque it to that kind of specs. Okay. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Okay, here we go. There's something about this one. It's not going all the way in. Maybe this isn't the right screw for it. Maybe it's longer than needed to be, because I forgot this actually worked for our old crankcase. So with the new crankcase, sometimes they change a little bit. It doesn't need to be this longer anymore. So now we got to actually change it up a little bit. So we got to get a screw that's shorter than this. So this was actually from our old crankcase. Okay, so the Loctite is still in there, so we gotta get a bolt for it that fits real quick. We're gonna wipe this off from this bolt. We're gonna be able to salvage this one. So let's go and wipe this off real quick. Wipe the lot. There we go. See that residue there? Wipe off the Loctite before it hardens on its own. All right, well, we didn't know that, huh? Until we actually bolted on. We thought everything was going to be transferred over the same, but this crankcase left side, it's going to be a little bit more different. So it didn't go all the way. It was like another centimeter left behind. So let's go and look for our smaller one. See if we can find the smaller screw kit for it. That's a little bit smaller. Doesn't have to be that much smaller, but just small enough. These two might work right here, but let's see. They're about the same length, so we can't use these either. Kind of threw us off now, because we're thinking all the screws are going to be pretty much the same. So now it's kind of surprising. All right, so we'll keep on looking for the right screw. So everything else is pretty much tall. These ones seems a little bit tall. These might work, but let's see how much taller they are. I think they're almost the same, just off by a little bit. But these two might actually work. Since we're robbing these two, we're going to have to give the other ones a little bit taller ones. Okay. So first of all, let's go ahead and do a pre-load to make sure that that one right there, it goes in. Okay, it's going in, but we actually want to make sure, and this one's actually a 10mm. So go and get the 10mm out. Okay, it's not even going to screw all the way in. All right, so we need to go and find a little shorter screw for this one because the crankcase takes a little shorter than we expected. So let me go ahead and look for it. Okay, let's see. We'll put this back here. Unfortunately, our screw here, normally for our splash guard, doesn't fit like it before. So we need to go get some shorter screws. And I think maybe I have an idea of where to rob it from. We do have the one for the starter here. This starter one can probably take a little longer than necessary. Let's see how much longer this one is. I don't think that much longer. Okay, so it's very short. So it would work. It's short, but we want it to not be that short. So we're looking for longer than that one. All right, so we'll keep that one there. We want to use as much as we can. The thread, we don't want too much thread to be unused. The housing anyway. All right, let me put this one back in. Oh, fun, isn't it? Trying to get one thing done and you got another project. There we go. Gotcha. All right. All right, we'll screw it in place. We won't lose it. I think I saw it a little bit. We might be able to use. So again, we can't use these because they're too long now for the new left crankcase. So there's some here. Maybe these were it. Who knew? Actually, these are not it, but they were for, these are for the cylinder head cover. But we can just rob two of them from here. Let's see, two of the longest one. And let's go and take our comparison here, one of these. And let's see which one. Actually, we can use a longer one because the cylinder head actually it barely covers itself, so it might work. It might be a good trade-off for both of these ones. So here we go. Gonna compare it now. This one's shorter actually. So we'll get this one out of the way. Out of the four, they're not always going to be the same size. Surprisingly, these ones are the same. And then these ones, okay, all three of these are pretty much the same. So, and they're perfect because we don't need it to go any more in depth for it. It usually sticks out that much. So we can rob those two right there. And so we're going to go ahead and just put the shorter one back here. We're going to go and put the long two back here. That's pretty much, and we're going to just, you know, the first two, which is fine. Okay, so we're going to take two out from our cylinder head cover. There we go, and then we're going to put these the two one back here. So this should be fine. This is going to go, and this will work because it was just off by a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and continue on. We're going to put some blue Loctite. Little detour, but it actually worked because the cylinder head needed a longer screw anyway. So there we go. I'm trying to grab some from here that's on the cap. It's already messy enough, so I figured we can help use what's out there already. Okay, let me go and open and see how much it's probably leaking from inside. There we go. We'll just put the screw in here, dip it in, give it a little bath. There we go. Got some in here. We'll drop it in now. Okay. Take the next one. Give it a little bath. Maybe shake it out. Whatever can fall into it, let it fall. Oh, you almost screw it. Screw it in there almost. Alright, so there we go. We got enough there. That should be enough. Okay, so we cleaned it out a little bit. We're going to put into our last slot there. You can see there's a hole for that one. Alright, there we go. Going to close this one back. Make sure we close it this time, because that was the problem last time. We didn't close it all the way thorough. We didn't realize that it leaks like water. Now we do. Okay. Now we got the same 8mm, so we can go ahead and go back to where we were and start pretty much having it torqued down. We'll torque it down by hand again. Okay. This one's like right there in between the gaskets. Almost feel like I was trying to pull the gasket in. Alright, so this one went in pretty smooth. Alright, and it's flushed perfectly actually. It gives just enough room for you to torque it. And this one, for some reason, is blocking. So we're going to figure out why is it blocking. It's probably just a little bit worn. So let's go and get our torque wrench and get some more socket drive it to drive it in, because it should fit equally. Shouldn't be no problem. There it goes, going in. Probably just a little bit rust, or maybe the blue Loctite that was previously in there. I think it takes about 24 hours to set it in, so it probably wouldn't be the blue Loctite. Probably just the bolt's kind of rusty a little bit. So we're gonna break it in there. There it goes, going in. Alright. Wow, it's very tight. I guess maybe the blue Loctite. Okay, I'm gonna have to grip it with my hand because it's starting to move everything. Okay. Okay, there we go. It's actually now torqued to about 5 foot-pounds before it snapped. Alright, so here we go. We'll do the next one. We'll let this one torque as well. I wasn't planning to torque it, but I guess we should. Okay, that one snapped as well. Alright, so they're both now secure. It doesn't need to be really that torque or secure, but the idea was to get it flush so it doesn't feel like it's jiggling. And I think we accomplished that, and also we torqued it at the same time. The blue Loctite should do its magic. Alright, so now we got all the gates there. We got our dowel pins here. Now it's time to go ahead and for sure put back our timing cover as we were expecting to do 20 minutes ago. So here we go. I'm going to put the timing cover. I'm going to hold this here. That way you can see it all come into play without blocking you with my knee so much. There we go. Want to make sure we got in the right direction. This is it. Okay, we have enough here. Okay. And just kind of, again, we don't want to put too much pressure on the seal because the last one damaged. So we want to make sure we just give it another little turn. It shouldn't rip that easily, but just to be safe, just give it a little squiggly to help it go in a little easier. Okay, now that we feel like it's going, pretty much you can see here, it's resting on the guiding pins / dowel pins. There we go. There's the other one as well. Not much light, but you can see it right there. So now I'm going to go and apply some pressure. And my pressure is pretty much just my hand. So here we go. There we go. Boom. Snap right into place. Beautiful. There it is. We don't have to worry about that section anymore. It is secured. This is actually the final engine build for this. Once you put the sealant on there and you get the blue Loctite, it's pretty much no going back. Okay, so there we go. We got this ready for our, I believe it's going to be, now we're going to secure it, pretty much our timing case. But here's the rest of it. I realized a better way to screw it, if you guys want to know, is put the screw underneath your fan cover, and then you can put all your other components right into it, so it stays in one place. See? Very cool. All right. Okay, we're almost an hour into this video already, so it's going to be cut off in every half an hour. So I think the pretty much the camera phone does that automatically for me. It's not like I planned it, but it's good that way. It chunks it down. I don't do any kind of video editing, so pretty much all you see is pretty much in real time. Okay, so right now we're going to go ahead and focus on putting this. I'm hoping that all these, since we know that these screws came from the original crankcase here, but again, the left crankcase might create a problem again, but I don't think so. We'll find out right now as we go. We're going to go ahead and apply some blue Loctite in each one, and then we're going to go ahead and put it in there. So here we go. All right, so you remember where the screws were? It's gonna be a U shape. The first one will go here. Okay, and then the second one will go here. I believe the third one, oh, I'm so sorry. This one actually saved for the holding of the wires for the stator. So first one, second one, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Okay, just so we can run the play before we start this, because there's no going back. Okay, here we go. Well, we could have gone back. We went back last time because of the blue Loctite. So there we go. We're going from left to right. This one's the smaller screw. We're going to go and tap it with our screw here. Tap it with our Loctite. What am I saying? Bear with me. It's almost 2 a.m. But I'm passionate about building the scooter. There we go. I feel like we could probably do it in a way where, you can see here I'm putting very little. It doesn't need a lot. I'm almost just barely tipping it, like almost like chalking it down like you know, a pool stick. And that's it. That's all I really want. Okay, so we're gonna put some more in there later on. All right, we're gonna put that in there right away, and we're gonna turn it afterwards. We'll get everything pretty much rested. Okay, we'll take the next one. Same way. I think I'm just going to put in this cap here and use this cap here as a good reference. Squeeze some in there. Should be plenty. I'm going to go and start putting this Loctite on the screw area. Okay, there we go. Just a little bit on the tip. It's like a pool chalk. There we go. Wipe it off a little bit of the frontage. Okay, so next one would be here. Let me go and turn this out there. Okay, so the next one we're putting in is right here. Just let it drop. So far it's dropping in the depth that we need it to be. Now, if it doesn't drop and there's still 4 inches sticking, that's when we have a problem. But I think this crankcase is actually the same. Okay, the next one. Again, we're just chalking it. We can even turn it a little bit. Look like. There we go. Okay, pull it back out. See, that's enough right there. That's all we want. Okay, and then we're going to go and drop it. Drop it to the next slot right there. This helps actually hold further onto the left side of the crankcase as well. So it's going to be a lot of depth. That pretty much internally supports each other. Okay, the next one. We're using our same cap that we put some Loctite in there. Blue one. It's almost running low here. Yeah, but that still has a lot. Doesn't need that much, you can see here. Doesn't need that much at all. Okay, then it goes right here in the center. Okay, so everything is almost like within maybe half an inch top, which is perfect. That's enough for us to screw it in. Okay, get the next bolt to the very lowest level. I'm sure some of these are probably the same too if I really take and analyze it, but I think, see this one, this is what the Loctite residue looks like. It's like cemented off there. We thoroughly clean as much as we can, but some of them are still on there, so it's fine as long as it's not so heavy where all that chalk is coming off onto your engine. Okay, so it's almost running out, so I think this one gets the last bit of it. All right, so we'll put some more in there. We'll put that in there. See there? It's going good. All right, let's fill up our reserve here. Just squeeze a little bit in there. Oh, there we go. A lot goes a long way. All right, the next one from the below. You can see there. I'm gonna poke it out. Not that one. This one is very short compared to the other one sitting on top of it. See, this one's short. You'll see in a little bit. It won't go any other way. All right, that's more than enough. Wipe it off there. Okay, that's it. You don't want it on the tip really. I mean on the flat top. You don't want the flat top to have any. It's not really doing anything. It's mainly the idea is to get on thread. Okay, we're gonna drop it. There we go. See, you can see they're short because it's already hitting the threads already. That means it's ready to be pretty much torqued in. And then this one is longer. You can see why it's made that way. It's gonna go right through here. It's gonna help secure not only the crankcase left, but it also goes a little bit into the other right side of the crankcase as well. You can see if it goes down, goes pretty far, right? It covers the crankcase. So it's just not that 2 screws that actually secures the crankcase. It's the 2 screws remaining that secures it, that when we pull all the rest of these screws out, that's the only 2 left remaining holding the crankcase. All right, there we go. Doing careful as much as I can, but if you're comfortable with just kind of doing it the way you want to, you don't have to do it this way. You know, everyone's entitled to do it a certain way that they feel good about, and I feel comfortable like this, so I know that I'm not putting too much. And there you go, I'm securing this blue Loctite. So you're gonna see me use all these components. I'll put all the product lists on the description of what I used, and you can probably get these anywhere at the hardware store. It's probably cheaper to get these at the hardware store like Lowe's or Home Depot than the auto parts store. I think the auto parts store knows that you're going to use it for this application. They're probably going to charge a little more. So look into it. I might be wrong. So check this out in comparison when you go to like Home Depot or Lowe's compared to AutoZone or O'Reilly's or whatever in your area. All right, now we're ready to go ahead and, since these are all 8mm again, we're going to use the same torque specs. We're going to torque it to 5 foot-pounds. 5 foot-pounds at 60 inch-pounds. Okay, so let me go ahead and start torquing it. We're going to do it in like a star pattern. We're going to tighten it all the way first, and then we're going to torque it. So let's go and start with this one. Just to make sure it goes in first. In fact, here I'll do it by hand so that way we know it's going in first. Okay, so here we go. This is the first one. The first of the U-shape pattern. Okay. There we go. That one I cannot twist anymore with my hand. The next one. And it should flush though, even though you don't torque it yet. It should stay flush. There we go. See, that's flushed. Okay, I can't twist anymore. This one next. Then we'll go with the torque wrench to torque it to specs. Okay, this one's next. See, they're all flush now. These bolts are designed to be a certain length just to fulfill their job to secure the certain areas. And I feel great now that our gaskets are properly used instead of just laying down there, because I think the more it lays down there, the more the breeze is going to catch on and be less effective. So